Hello, I'm Christine, and the Gilmore Girls revival was released today! Okay. The long-awaited A Year in the Life of the Gilmore Girls was released today. If you don't know and haven't watched it already, it is a revival of the Gilmore Girls that takes place 9 years later after the finale. And there are 4 episodes, and each episode is an hour and a half. It was amazing, and if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it now. If you've yet to watch Gilmore Girls, I have a video about why you should watch it if you need convincing in the description below. If you haven't yet watched the revival and you're like here for a review, you gotta go watch the revival because this isn't a review. I mean, I loved it. This is a discussion. We're gonna be talking about it up in here. So you're gonna get spoiled if you haven't watched it. So go have a nice 6-hour sit with them. Enjoy it. Go, watch, come back. Let's discuss together. I am so filled with emotions right now. So many emotions. Goodbye, non-spoilers. Goodbye. I keep exhaling giant breaths of relief and sadness and happiness. I cried a lot, especially in that last episode, Fall. Let's rewind to episode 1, Winter. The episode opens up and there's this sound montage of all different moments from the pilot all the way through the series. Right from there, welled up. We did not do the theme song, which I guess makes sense because it's not an episode. Man, I'm so glad I just rewatched the pilot. It was very clear to me when they were mirroring it in these 4 episodes, and I don't know if it would have been so clear and so emotional for me had I not just recently rewatched it. I don't know about you, but going into this, I was expecting Luke and Lorelai to have a kitty. Just like that dream she had in season 3 or season 4 when they had twins or she was pregnant. I wanted them to have a kid together, and I know it makes sense that they wouldn't because they're so slow going. The slowest moving couple in the history of the universe. I think it takes them the end of season 3, season 4, they're just the slowest. They are snails. They are both so stubborn and stuck in their ways. So logically, it makes sense that we get to this point and there would be no kid. I really wish that worked out though. I love that Paris Geller's the fertility doctor. I just loved having her here. I don't know about you, but like Paris in this 4-episode arc was one of my favorite recurring characters. Paris was such a joy. Her moment with fake Tristan. So Tristan from season 1, we all saw that he was gonna be in the revival, but he's being played by a different actor. Tristan was Chad Michael Murray. It's not like he was a random nobody that we don't know now. He was Chad Michael Murray. There's no guy that I'm gonna look at and be like, yeah, that's older Tristan, because I know what older Tristan looks like, and he's Chad Michael Murray. Paris and Rory go back to Chilton for Alumni Day, and we see Tristan for like half a second. I was expecting Tristan to have like, I don't know, a bigger role. I think it would have been really funny if we saw him in a bigger role, and for a second I was like, oh my god, are they gonna do like a Paris-Tristan reconnection thing? But it was just a glance. We literally see him for like half a second. You barely have time to be like, what the that's not Tristan, but you do have time for it. When it dropped that Luke and Lorelai still aren't married, I was like, bitch, are you kidding me? When the last episode came and went, and we didn't get to see them get married, and then this is 9 years later, I was like, if they're not married by now, like, they're never getting married. But basically, they got back together and talked about nothing. They avoided talking about any serious relationship milestone for 9 years. 9 years! And we still don't get to see their big wedding. I just so bad. I wanted to see their big wedding party. I wanted to see her in the dress. I wanted to see their stupid flash mobs. I just wanted to see everyone there. I wanted to see Emily there. As soon as they were in the kitchen, they were talking about their flash mob plans. I knew right then and there, like, we're not gonna get to see the wedding, are we? We did get to see their little wedding, but Emily wasn't there, and I'm really surprised that they didn't call her. I feel like that was something that should have been done. That was missing for me at the end. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was beautiful, and for a second I was scared they were gonna end it with Luke and Lorelai bickering at the table about their flash mobs. Like, I loved that moment because it was so Luke and Lorelai. You know, that's their relationship in a little nutshell, and it's beautiful, and I love it. Let's go back to Winter. Rewind to episode 1. I've jumped ahead of myself. So Rory in episode 1. She's a jet setter. She's not living anywhere. She doesn't have her underwear. She can't find her lucky outfit. So Rory's in London, and she's talking about the meeting she had, and she has her phone, so like, we're led to believe like she might be on speakerphone. But it gets more and more obvious that she's talking to someone in the room. And I'm just like, no, it's not Logan. It's Logan. Logan just comes out, and I'm just like, she has a boyfriend. She has this boyfriend, Paul, that she just never with. You don't even care. Just shoot him a text and say, I'm sorry, I gotta break this up. Just stop. When that happened, and then he came out, and then they kissed, and I was just like, what the is happening? And in that moment, I was like, does Rory have like 50 boyfriends, like a boyfriend at every spot that she jet set? Is she just like one of those players? Right in that scene with Logan, she's like, do you want me to go in there? Is there other women's stuff in there? I know we have an agreement. I'm just like, Rory doesn't make agreements. And I know with Logan's the only person she's been with that she's ever made agreements with. He's the one she tried this casual dating thing and she found that it didn't work for her. And I'm just like, what is this? What is this? And then she's lying to Lorelai about it. I was just like, Jess, where are you, Jess? Speaking of Jess, when Jess finally showed up in what, episode 3, I was like, it's about damn time. It's about damn time! And, of course, he sets her right back on track. She's like a lost puppy dog, just like running around Nowhereville for 2 episodes. And then Jess shows up for 5 minutes. He barely says anything. But what he does say is so meaningful, it literally spurs her back on her track. And this is the exact thing that happened back in like season 5 when she was a lost Logan puppy before. They're right for each other. I held out hope. You know, because I do like Logan. But, like, at the same time, he's engaged. When I heard that he was engaged, just another blow. He's engaged to some other random Paris woman. Why? Which just makes me think that Logan's just always having affairs. What does Logan have with Rory? Because what they have is really important to him. He flew across the Atlantic Ocean because she was upset to take her out for one night. That's dedication right there. That was a really nice night with Omniaparatus. Logan and Rory had that moment together when they're saying goodbye. Like, I really thought for a second that maybe he would be like, I'm breaking off that engagement. I've always wanted you. If you want this, let's jump. You jump, I jump, remember? And no, Rory missed her chance on that train. It's gone. As supportive and kind and helpful as Logan is, he's not Jess. Like, he doesn't know her to that level where he can help her find her way. He'll help her in every other way to help her help herself. But, like, when she needs a nudge, Jess always can give her the exact nudge she needs. Oh, we get to see the funeral, see Richard's funeral, and it's very, very sad. That story that Lorelai tells at the end, when she had her wild moment and she just hiked up that little baby hill behind the cafe and she calls Emily, my heart. I was just like full on sobbing during that section because it was beautiful and I was just so happy that her mom and her were kind of connecting. My favorite in this first episode is when Paris went with Rory to Lane's house and Hep Alien was like setting up. They're in there setting up for their band in their grown living room. And Paris just stands against the wall and she's like, are they serious? Seriously? Are we still pretending Hep Alien's a thing? At the Dragonfly, Sookie has left because we couldn't get Melissa McCarthy back for all the episodes, and I'm really glad that she came back in the end and she was there. If Rachel Ray reorganized my cabinet, I swear to God, the scene with Francie at the alumni thing was hysterical too. I'm sorry, did I accidentally step into 2003? And it just completely degrades into a scene that we would have seen in like first season Gilmore Girls. There's a random cameo from Mae Whitman, which was just so cute because, you know, she's Lorelai's daughter in Parenthood. And then we have episode 3, Summer, which I'm gonna be honest, definitely the least favorite of mine in these 4 episodes. Fall was my favorite, winter, then spring, then summer. Summer sucked. We get to see April. She has this one line I just thought was hysterical. April, have you seen this movie? I only watch silent German films. Good for you, April. I don't know how I feel about that little anxiety attack she has with Rory. It's weird. That's a weird scene. Get a lot of weird scenes in Summer. I can't not bring up the extended musical number Stars Hollow scene. What the was that? That went on way too long. I was like uncomfortable. You're killing me here. I kept waiting for it to change to another scene and it just kept going and going. This is not close enough to Hamilton to be funny. It's just awful. I think what they could have done is just shown like the first musical number, and then we could still have that last musical number that was really nice. That song that really related to Lorelai's situation about feeling broken. Like that was really great and brought tears to my eyes because it was just the Lorelai song. But making us watch, it was like 10 minutes. It was like a 10-minute musical scene number. Multiple musical. I only get 4 episodes of Gilmore Girls here. I cannot afford to spend 10 minutes on this bullshit. I was pretty amused by the 30-something crew though. It was also in this episode where Rory is like on the phone with Logan after all this shit has happened and she's still planning to go see him even after the engaged lady is moved in with him. What are you doing? Jess swoops in this episode. Thank the Lord. I already talked about this. The extended dragged out. The Gazette is dying. It needs an editor section, and Rory didn't immediately, like the fact that Rory didn't immediately be like, I'll be the editor, like it is so obvious that's where that was going. I was just frustrated. You're wasting my precious time, okay? We get 6 hours. I want this 6 hours jam-packed with content. I already wasted 10 minutes watching farmers dance around and switch seats. That little dance they did like 50 times and they just switched seats. Do some different choreography! We end the episode with Rory and Lorelai in a big fight about the book. Summer can be retitled as Everything Sucks. And then we have fall. Episode 4, by far the best. This episode was 1 hour and 45 minutes, and I was so glad because after that summer, after that 10 minutes of bullshit play, I needed at least 10 extra minutes. Those 10 minutes will haunt me forever. I can't believe 10 minutes of that shit play was forced before our eyes. I think it's in the summer episode. It starts off that they're on the beach chairs and Lorelai's reading Wild. It was nice to see that kind of pan out into something. At the same time, I kind of did feel like the Wild joke was already used in New Girl, and I was kind of done with the Wild joke. But they extended. It was different in here. The whole like book or movie thing made it fun. I mean, did you actually think Lorelai was going to do the Wild? I didn't. I had no faith. I had no faith in Lorelai. I thought she was gonna go out there, and I thought she was gonna almost do it and then not have to get where she was going, and of course, that is indeed what happened. Can we just talk about how amazing Jess is in the revival? Did all of us Jess people not call this transformation? And I want to know more about what's going on in his life, because that was a giant pack he had. This can't be the end of Gilmore Girls. What the fuck was that end? What's happening? That was like a cliffhanger when you're gonna have another season. Like, I can see how it could be like, no, we're just coming full circle. Lorelai got pregnant, and that's how everything started, and now Rory's pregnant. No! We had that great moment with Jess. There is something there. My heart, when she came out, was like, Jess, like the first 3 chapters, and then that little fangirl squeal and left, and looks like, what was that? Oh, nothing, just something between us. Like, I was waiting for that the whole 6 hours. I was like waiting for that moment. And every time Jess was on screen, he was just so helpful. He just was such a positive force everywhere we saw him. Who is the first person Rory's gonna go to when she finishes that book now? Jess. Who's probably gonna help her publish the book? Jess. This whole journey is gonna include Jess. Meanwhile, she's pregnant. Now, chances are she's pregnant with Logan's baby. And Logan's getting married to some other person. It's very much like Lorelai. How can this possibly be considered the end? How? It's worse than the other end before, when Luke and Lorelai just like didn't get married and Rory ended up with nobody that we were rooting for the whole time. Then there's a very slim chance that the baby is the Wookiees, because why did we have that Wookiee incident? We can't end not knowing. What are they doing to us? Is there gonna be another season? I feel like in my head, logically, thinking about these actors, I don't think they'd be able to all come back and do this again for a whole nother season if this is gonna be the start of something new. But that ending doesn't feel like the end of something Netflix made with the assumption that there won't be any more. There is unresolved shit in there. I just wanted to see Rory happy, and she's not all the way there yet. You can't do this. There has to be more. Are they gonna do a second year in the life? Mr. Gilmore left a bunch of money for Luke to franchise Luke's, and we know that Luke doesn't want to franchise Luke's, but as soon as that happened, and we had all this worry about Lorelai wanting to expand the Dragonfly, and immediately I was like, why doesn't Lorelai take it and franchise the Dragonfly? Why? It took like forever for her to be like, I want to take it and franchise the Dragonfly. I mean, I love that that's what happened, and I love the way that it happened with Emily. It was an exact mirror of episode 1 when she came to ask them for money for Rory's schooling. I really, really liked the moment that Rory had with Dean. I almost teared up, and Dean teared up. Things that she says about what she would write about him are so nice, and you can tell it just really touched his heart in that moment. A lot of these people that we were really excited to see were only cameos. Like, Dean was a cameo, and Christopher was basically a cameo. Can I just say, Christopher looks exactly the same, and that is not cool, okay? What are you, a vampire? Why don't you age? What is up with your face? It's just perfect and the same. Everyone else, like even Rory, like a lot of times, and like you can't tell, but when she shows emotion on her face, you can tell that she's older. It's so ridiculous. We go walk up to Christopher and he's just like exact the same. Exact. And of course we end with the baby bomb. And literally, like, in that moment, I screamed, "Are you shitting me?" when they went to credits. My dog came running over because he thought something was wrong. Yes, something is wrong. This ended in a bad place. I need, like, 8 more episodes that are all an hour and a half or longer. 2 years in the life, please. Things I want to see that weren't in here. Luke and Lorelai actually get married and have their party and Emily be there. I still can't believe that didn't happen. Just like, why? Could we not just extend this like 10 more minutes and see the wedding? The wedding. Oh, I love that Emily quit the DAR and she quit it with style. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your theories. If the baby is Logan's, like there is a chance that he would blow off his engagement. That would be like Lorelai and Christopher. Like maybe they'd get married, but they wouldn't last. I think her Luke is Jess. And I also love the last scene with Jess when he was in the room with Luke and Luke was trying on his suit. He was like, "You look hot." And then Kirk walks in without knocking. He's like, "What, you don't knock?" And Jess is just like, "We could have been naked." Just excellent Jess humor. Everything Jess was excellent. Is there a chance that like when we weren't looking, Rory and Jess hooked up? When she was talking about moving to Queens, is Jess in New York or is Jess in Philadelphia still? Where's Jess? He said he's nothing permanent when she said what's going on. He was like, "Oh, nothing much, nothing permanent." Like, what does that mean? I'm Christine. Please share your thoughts. I make videos every Tuesday. I'm at XTeenBay on Instagram and Twitter, and all my links are in the description below. I will see you next time. Goodbye!